I've known all my life that one day I wanted to become a mom. I knew that I wanted to have a family and have children, and luckily that came true. But what I never imagined as a quiet achiever whose sole focus growing up was just to get straight A's in school, and then once I got working to become a top performer in my career, was how challenging it would be to maintain that high achiever mentality as a parent. Only until I had kids did I realize that my expectations and identity had to shift significantly because I was no longer the same person that I was before having kids. I had changed and I needed to make a change within myself if I wanted to move forward in a more fulfilled, calm, and confident way in my life, in my career. So, what I want to share with you today is the 4 realizations that I've had being a quiet achiever and now being a parent that I've had to learn in order to have more balance and calm and ease within my career and in my life. That hopefully will help you. If you are a parent, if you've recently become a parent, you will understand hopefully what I'm talking about today. And even if you're not yet a parent, but you know that one day you do want to be, and you are extremely career driven, you identify as being a quiet achiever, then hopefully these realizations will help you as you navigate that journey. So, in terms of this aspect of becoming a parent, I actually talk about this along with other 6 triggers in my book, The Quiet Achiever. And what I mean by this is being a parent became a trigger for me that resulted in a stagnation period in my life. And I talk about what a stagnation period is also in the book. Stagnation periods is where you go through a period of time in your life where you feel stuck, you feel confused, you feel lost, you start questioning where you're at in your life, where you're going, where you've been. We all go through stagnation periods. And what I've discovered is that it generally is sparked by a significant life event. So there are many different events that happen. It could be through a loss or a health challenge, or it could be through becoming a parent or through a certain realization that you feel as though you're falling behind in life. So in this case, we're talking about the trigger of being a parent, becoming a parent, and how that can result in a stagnation period. So specifically, what I say is on page 40, I wrote, before having kids, I was a typical quiet achiever who channeled all my energy, inner drive, and ambition into my career. After having kids, I applied those same traits to my role as a stay at home parent. As the months went on, I found myself distancing and disconnecting further away from who I thought I was. I didn't fully see myself as solely a mom, but I also didn't identify as the former career driven business person I once thought I was. It led me into one of the longest periods of stagnation I've ever experienced, a phase that lasted several years. There have been many tears shed, deep questions asked, heavy emotions, and deep seated fear based beliefs brought to the surface that I had to address head on. And if I'm being honest, I'm still on this journey, and that's okay. What I can say is that over the past few years, I've gained a deeper understanding of myself and a clearer sense of who I am, insights that I've helped shaped this book and that I'm now able to share with you. That is an excerpt from my book, The Quiet Achiever, which is coming out in October 2025. This is the manuscript, but the hardcover version is coming out. It'll be in bookstores near you. So I encourage you, if this resonates with you and if the realizations that I'm going to talk about in just a minute resonate with you, for you to pre-order my book. Just put in the words Quiet Achiever down in the comments below. I'll send you the link where you can pre-order and you'll get access to $1,000 worth of bonuses and gifts that I'm giving away, including my top-notch interview best-selling course, which has helped thousands of professionals to land job offers. So just put in the words Quiet Achiever down below if you want to get the link to pre-order the book. So here are 4 realizations that I had and lessons that I'm learning about being a career-driven quiet achiever who also happens to be a parent that hopefully will help you. The first realization is I am not the same person I was before kids. I believed after having my 2 sons that I should be able to go back to the same person I was once before I had my kids. And it's taken me a few years, but I've realized that I cannot go back to that old version of me. That is Linda Rayner back then. I am a new version, and I had to accept that. And so that means that when we are dealing with new obligations, we have new responsibilities beyond our career, it means that our priorities have to change, our values shift. And for me, it's not just about career and work success, it's also about the success and well being and mental and emotional well being of my children, of my family as a whole. And for myself as well, I need to play a role in that, in acknowledging myself. It's not just about my work, 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 work. In the past, it was all about work. But this realization of I am not the same person I was before kids is really important. And I think this will be relevant for you if you also have kids and you're still thinking that you should be able to perform or do the exact same things that you did before you had kids. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but you are putting a lot of pressure on yourself. If you feel that you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling anxious and you're just in a season in your life where that's just not physically possible, then give yourself a little bit of grace and know that you can only do the best that you can do in this moment in time. And that is enough in itself. You have evolved and you are evolving. So don't put so much pressure on yourself that you're feeling anxious and weighed down every single day. Allow yourself to be a little bit more at ease in the time and season that you're in your life. The second realization that I've had says, the quality of my life and my family's life revolves around my state of being. This is something that I did not realize was so important until very recently, because when you become a parent, especially a mom, your whole life revolves around your newborn. Everything at that point is about the newborn's needs, their emotions, what they need, what they require. And your emotions are way in the back burner. What your needs are way in the back burner. Everything is about the newborn, the child in front of you. And so as my children have gotten a little bit older, they're still very young, but as they've gotten older, I realize, okay, now I'm in a place where I can go back to thinking about myself and focusing on my needs as well as their needs. And what that means is if you focus on your state of being and you look at your energy state every single day and you acknowledge how you're feeling on a moment by moment basis, then you're doing the work that's necessary to be able to bring in the most positive version of yourself into the world and for your children and for your family. But if you're not paying attention to yourself and you're allowing yourself to get overwhelmed and drained and exhausted by the responsibilities that you have, the work that you have to do, and you're getting yourself wrapped up in this hamster wheel of just working, 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 what can happen is that you lead yourself down the lane to burnout. And then you show up as that version for your family and for your kids. And you are showing up as someone who's frustrated, who's on edge, who's anxious, and who is essentially not a great person to be around. So I've had to learn that for myself, that my state of being matters. If I'm feeling exhausted, if I'm feeling tired, if I'm feeling anxious, then I need to take a step back. And as an example for me, I go down to my sauna and I make sure I have a sauna session, because just the sweating and the work that the sauna does, whatever magic it does, it actually helps me to feel renewed when I step out of it and I'm able to refresh myself and I feel more calm and present for my family and for those around me and for my work. So your state of being is the most important thing, because that will then determine the well-being of those around you in your family. The third realization I've had since becoming a parent as a quiet achiever is protecting your energy is more important than working harder. When I was younger in my career, hustling was something that I had no issue doing. I was able to work nonstop day after day from early morning all the way till late at night. And eventually I would have to recover from that. But because I didn't have any other responsibilities or obligations and I was just all about my career, that I was able to do that. And especially when I started my business, that was how I was operating round the clock. But after having children and having a family, I realized I can't put all of my energy into one thing. I have to be able to divide it up and siphon it towards my family, towards myself, and towards my work still. But there needs to be a balance between how I distribute my energy. There are more obligations that I have than I used to have. So what I've realized is protecting my energy is the most important priority for me because as quiet achievers, we are naturally more introverted. And what that means is we only have a finite amount of energy in any given day. And that energy depletes slowly as we have interactions, as we do certain activities, as we go about our day. Whereas for extroverts, they start off their day with zero energy and they gain energy by having interactions, by meeting with people, by doing certain activities. So if you're like me, who's more introverted, then you're going to recognize and see that when you become a parent, your energy is the most important thing that you need to protect because you only have a certain amount of it and you need to be able to distribute it across the specific areas of your life that matter. And for me, it happens to be myself, my health, my family, and my work. And so when you can do that and you know how to navigate your energy and work with your energy, then you're able to feel more at ease and calm in any given day with what you need to do. You have more clarity, you have more sense of direction rather than feeling as though you're putting yourself in all places at once and you are feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling overly anxious. I have gotten myself into that position many times. And from those experiences, I've learned to pull myself out of it and recognize when I'm drowning and get back to a place of equilibrium and calm and balance. And finally, the fourth realization that I've had as a quiet achiever who is now a parent is I'm a better parent when I'm working than when I'm not. So we are all wired differently. And what I've learned, and I think a lot of other quiet achiever parents can resonate with this, is we are better people when we actually have careers. We're better people when we feel as though we have a sense of a mission or a purpose that we're doing each and every day beyond being a mom or a dad. And that just is naturally me. I have friends who love being stay at home parents, and that is their purpose in life and their mission. And that is where they devote all their time and energy towards. And that is completely fine because that is what lights them up. But for me, I've learned very quickly in those early years of taking care of my kids that that was not what I wanted to do for a very long time. I knew that I needed to get back into my work, needed to have a career for myself where I could express myself in other ways and showcase my gifts and talents in other ways. Because as quiet achievers, we are driven, we are motivated, we have goals for ourselves, we have dreams and visions for ourselves. We know where we want to get to, even if we don't necessarily know exactly how we're going to get there. But because we have that natural drive, it means that a career is where we're going to be able to express that energy within ourselves. And so I realized this for myself that I'm just a better parent when I'm working than when I'm not. And so if that's how you feel, then know that that's okay, that you can be a good parent and a good employee or a good business person, whatever it is that you choose to do, but you can have a career and also be a parent and not feel guilty about choosing one over the other. You're able to choose both. So there you have it. Those are the four realizations that I've come across and are learning so far as a parent, as a quiet achiever. So hopefully that resonates with you. And again, I talk all about this and more in my book, The Quiet Achiever. This is the manuscript. It's coming out in October 2025. Just put down the words Quiet Achiever in the comments if you want to pre-order, as I'm now, right now, giving away $1,000 worth of bonuses, including my top-notch interview course, which has helped thousands of professionals to land job offers. If you want access to that, if you are looking for that next position in your career and you know that your communication is something that you want to work on, you want to know how to sell yourself better, then I highly recommend getting access to my top-notch interview course. And all that requires is for you to pre-order The Quiet Achiever. So I hope this video has helped you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.